Hi guys, I'm Ken from Acre Portugal, and today I've been commissioned to show you one of the most expensive properties that I've featured on my channel so far. So I'll be really interested to hear your thoughts and feedback in the comments. Now have a look in the video description below. I'm going to put more information including the seller's current asking price and their direct contact details for anyone that's interested in making them an offer. Today we're in the municipality of Fundão in Central Portugal near a village called Alcaria, and I'm going to be taking you on a walking tour through an impressive 8-hectare vineyard estate. This fully fenced property features around 7 hectares of vineyard, which produces approximately 40 tons of grapes each year. There's 2 houses here, a large main house set over 2 floors with 4 bedrooms and multiple living areas, along with a separate 2-bedroom house currently used by the farm's caretaker. Location-wise, the property is just a couple of minutes from the village of Alcaria, where you'll find restaurants, cafes and access to the Zêzere river, which has a beautiful river beach and park area. It's also a great spot during the summer months and also an awesome place to go fishing. You're also just 10 minutes from the larger towns of Fundão and Covilhã, so you've got easy access to supermarkets, hospitals, schools and everything you need for day-to-day living. From here it's only 2.5 hours to Lisbon and its international airport, and also around 2.5 hours to Porto and its international airport. Here is the layout of the land. Here are the borders and boundaries, and we are standing on the south side of the property by the south entrance. There's another entrance to the property which is on the east side. We can see the outside of the property has a low granite stone wall with fences above it, which stretches all the way from the side here all the way across. We've got all those vineyards. This is the south side entrance here, and it stretches all the way down in this direction to where we see that big white building over there. There's a roundabout and a road. It's quite a nice entrance to the property. We can see these 2 granite pillars on either side. Up here it says the number's 1960, which I guess is when these pillars were made. We've got these wrought iron gates, and we have this pergola that goes over the road that leads up to the house. A granite stone wall on the side, and we have some of the vineyards stretching to the left here. This whole property has 7 hectares of vines, so lots and lots and lots of grapes. Now these vines that are above us, not only will they cover the road and give it a lot of shade during the summer months, but they're also table grapes, so they're good for eating. All of the other grapes which you see around us on the fields here, these are for wine production. And it's a really nice track going up. It's got some granite calcada type tiles going all the way up, and this leads to the house. It leads to the caretaker's house and around the farm. And then we have these granite stone walls that basically make up the different terraces. Now this vineyard over here, this is the estate's vineyard, so this is one of the lowest points of the farm. This gets lots and lots and lots of water, and apparently it gets really nice quality grapes, so they use this in their own personal production to make wine for the farm. And then the rest of the fields, those all go to the Cooperativa in Fundão, and they sell them there. They get around 40 tons per year. Obviously that can vary depending on the year, but it's a lot of grapes and it is quite valuable. So this track leads to an intersection, and if we look to the right here, this is the east entrance of the property. So we have another gated entrance, also covered in lovely pergolas, and then we have this big retaining wall in granite. The main house is just up here, and we're going to be going there next. And we have the driveway to the main house, and then the track extends up in this direction to another 2-bedroom house, and this is currently being used by the caretaker and his family. So I think we go through here first, and we can see we do have pergolas and stuff, all for growing things. We have nice matured gardens. We have this beautiful coniferous tree just up here, just next to the house. And on this side here we have the steps that lead up to the main front door of the house. On this side here we have some quite grand granite steps going into a garden, and we can see some of the vineyards just on this side. And this basically takes us to a car parking area. We can basically park quite a few cars down here, and this gives us, I'm not sure, I guess this would be the north side of the property and the back of the property that we can see from here. So it's quite a big house set over 2 floors. We have a garage down here. We also have this whole downstairs basement section that we're going to go to in a bit. This video is sponsored by Wise. Back in 2019, my partner and I bought a beautiful farm here in Central Portugal. We've been staying here for the last 7 years, and we've been documenting our journey here and our daily lives on the farm. Now, one of the biggest challenges was figuring out how to safely transfer a large amount of money from the UK and into Portugal to complete the purchase. Our bank was going to charge us huge fees to make the transfer, so instead we used a company called Wise, and it honestly saved us a lot of money. Now, we've been using Wise for the last 7 years, and it's still what we use every single month to transfer money between our UK and our Portuguese bank accounts. It's quick, it's straightforward, and everything is really transparent, so you can clearly see the exchange rate, and any fees upfront before making a transfer. One of the big advantages is that Wise uses the mid-market exchange rate with no hidden fees. And for example, on a £50,000 transfer, you could save up to £1,000 compared to a bank. Now, if you're planning on buying property abroad, it's definitely worth looking into. Use the link in my video description below, and you can claim your first Wise transfer fee-free up to £1,000. I don't currently have the key to the front door, but I do have the key to the side entrance. So if we just go up these granite steps, this takes us through the kitchen diner area. We've got lots of blue tiles on the walls. These are old Portuguese tiles. We also have a central heating, so radiators going through. There's also air conditioning. This room's big enough to fit an 8-seater dining table. And if I just go on this side over here, we can see we've got an area where you can reach through to the kitchen and the countertops. And if we go through here, we can see it's quite a nice kitchen. It's kind of a modern kitchen. We've got very high quality cabinetry. We've got a double fridge, like an American style fridge. The appliances and the cookers and things are all from Smeg, and we've got some Miele products as well. We've got the dishwasher just down on this side. We also have a little pantry area if you just go through here. And then of course we have the double sinks with really nice views. Just look at that. Underneath by the conifer tree. And then on this side here we have something that I've never actually seen before. So this is a 4-burner gas hob, but it also has a cast iron griddle, which is pretty cool. I haven't seen that. Granite tops, and all in all a very nice looking kitchen. And I think what we're going to do to start the tour is we're going to go through this side and work our way around the upstairs of the house before we go downstairs. So this is quite an impressive living room. Just look at this floor. This house, I believe, was built 35 years ago, and they used really high quality materials all the way throughout. All the wood, all of the marble, all of the granite. And if we look at this room, well, let me give you a little peek of this room first. This is a really sumptuous living room. You can see they've used very luxurious materials in the construction of this house. And we've got a wraparound balcony over here. This gives us views down onto the car parking area, and you can see now you can really fit a lot of cars in there. You can also see parts of the vineyard that stretch all the way back up to the top. So the 7 hectares of vineyard still goes all the way up there, and we can see the caretaker's cottage just on that side. And looking in the other direction, we've got a nice patio area, perfect for seating and just enjoying the views. We've got a walnut tree just over here, and this is a lovely little barbecue area, so you can do some dining down here and some cooking down here on this little barbecue. Going back inside and continuing with the tour, you can see a very nice living room space, and again we've got beautiful wood all over in the construction of this house. Going through these sliding doors, and this takes us into a hallway. Now if we look down in this direction, this is where the main front entrance is. I'll show you what that looks like from outside. I didn't have a key today to open that up, but this is the main hallway space, and we'll get to there in a bit. I think what we'll do is we'll start by going left into all of the rooms left first. This is one of the bedrooms. It's one of the smaller bedrooms, but very luxurious, very sumptuous. We have patio doors leading out onto that seating area with some lovely views. And if we spin around, we can see we've got some nice built-in cupboards, so lots of wardrobe space. There's also radiators in every single room, so you can heat the place nicely in winter. If we go out this way, going to the left again, we have the bathroom. So this is the main bathroom for this part of the house. We have a his and hers sink unit. We have lots of storage beneath. There's grey marble stone that's used throughout here, and we have a bathtub, a large bathtub with a shower, and on this side we have the toilet and the bidet. Now we've reached the master suite, and it has its own entrance. On the side here we have another bathroom, quite a modern bathroom this one. Also toilet, bidet, we have a bathtub and a shower, and a nice vanity unit on this side. And if we look through here, we have a little hallway, and this takes you into the master suite. You can see it's a much bigger room, quite a lot of light coming inside, space for a huge bed, huge furniture, And we've got some really nice views if you look out in this direction of the Gardunya Mountains and all of the vineyards that belong to the property. Here's another angle of the bedroom, and we can also see big built-in wardrobe cupboards. Now if we go through and we're going to head on left again, we've got one more bedroom. So there's 3 large bedrooms upstairs. This is also a really big bedroom space. We can see it's almost as big as the master, and we've also got lots of big cupboard space there. And now this takes us back into the hallway. And from here we can go down these granite steps. So there's lots of really nice granite used all throughout this space. And let me just give you a look at this. We've got some big windows on this side. Space for huge furniture. This whole house can fit massive furniture. And then on this side we have the staircase that leads us down into the basement area. You can see it's made out of real solid hardwood, and it's a really beautiful staircase. Now the upstairs is the living space, and what they've used the downstairs for is more of a party space. And we can see as we go down here, this is a very impressive looking area. We have to the right a whole wine cellar area here. Look at this. So you can actually produce your own grapes here, which they do. And they actually sell the grapes to this place, which is Fundão Cooperativa. So this is actually where they sell the grapes to. But they also produce a little bit of wine on the property, and you can store your own wine in here. It looks like there's already a whole bunch of old bottles. If we look on this side, there's a whole bar area. So this is pretty cool. So there's a bar, and we've got a little sink area, place to store glasses. And this is an area where they used to have parties. So down here you could have a whole bunch of people enjoying themselves. There's a big living room through here. There's a bathroom, there's a kitchen down here, and there's also a big dining room. Now I can just imagine this place probably had the most amazing and epic parties, especially, you know, with all of this alcohol and all this awesome space. Now just before we get to the other rooms, I'm going to keep going left again. So to the left here we have the laundry room. We also have space for like a chest freezer and doing the ironing and all sorts of stuff. And if we go in this direction, this is actually going to take us to the garage. And sorry, it's a little bit dark in here. I don't have the garage door open. If I did, it would obviously be a lot lighter. But we have this garage space over here. I'll show you what the garage looks like from the outside. And this is also an area where they've got some of the winemaking equipment. And heading back, we can now see we've got some beautiful old tiles. Look at these. These are proper old Portuguese painted tiles. Quite a big space, this. I've turned on as many lights as I can at the moment. Some of the light bulbs aren't working, so unfortunately it is a little bit on the dark side here right now. But yeah, this is the bathroom. So we have a downstairs bathroom. There is no light bulb working in here, as I said. But this bathroom's got everything again. Bidet, toilet, big bathtub, really impressive tiles. I mean, look at these. They really are quite beautiful. And if we come out of here, we've got a big radiator on the wall. This over here is something that could be used as a spare bedroom. This could be used for the nanny. This could be used for a little office space. This could be used for storage. So quite nice to have. Or just a spare guest room. And if we go through here, this is the dining room. So a really big dining room. We've got a 10-seater. Is this a 10? Yeah, this is a 10-seater table in here. Very, very impressive. A big dining room. Now this dining room also doubles as a party room, and I'll show you underneath the carpet here there's actually a special granite floor. There we go. This is the floor, and this is what they use for dancing. So they would have big dinner parties in here, and then they would take all the furniture out the way, and then they have this granite floor in the middle that they used to use as a dance floor, or so I've been told. And then this room would have direct access to this bar area. So really nice. And for food, they have a kitchen down here. So this is an old, like a traditional, typical old Portuguese kitchen. And we have some Miele appliances. We have those beautiful tiles in here. We also have a solid hardwood kitchen, all done in a very old traditional fashion. And double sinks, gas hob, and all the old little trinkets and curios, these old brass pots. They even have some old cauldrons and little weight sets. And I'll just spin around here so you can see what this kitchen looks like from this side. So it's quite a cool looking kitchen. I actually quite like the tiles. They are quite busy, but they're quite good looking tiles. And they have them all throughout downstairs. And then for when your guests are here and they are partying and they want to sit down and they want to relax, we've got this big space over here. So it's a big living room space, a big sort of sitting area over here. And on this side we have a big fireplace, a big open fireplace. And I've been told that in the winter the owners of the house used to love coming to this place and sitting down here and just enjoying the hot fire. So standing back in the corner of the living room here, we can see the rest of the space. And if I go through here, we've got this round table over here. I'm guessing this would be a great place to play some cards, possibly even some poker. We've got some beautiful natural light coming in. And it's a really nice space. I believe through there is where the car parking area is. And if we go through here, this is an office. So we've got a big office desk in here, and I believe this is an office that the owner used to use. And then I believe if we look through here, I think this is, yes, this is the car park space. So you can go straight from the car parking area straight into the bottom area downstairs. So that was the inside of the main house. Now let's go on to the second house. There's a footpath that leads to it just over here, or of course you can go up that little calçada track to the house with your car. Now at this time of year we have spring and we have lovely warm weather, but every now and then we get days with lots of cloud, and we do get quite a bit of rain, and that rain's important obviously to soak into the ground in these vineyards so that in the dry hot summer months these are going to make some really nice tasty grapes. As we walk up to the caretaker's cottage, we can see we have a row of roses. They tend to grow roses next to vineyards because roses and vineyards tend to get the same sort of problems and things, and you can basically spot them on the roses first, and then you know whether or not you've got an issue with your grapes. Right, let's head on to the caretaker's house. Now, as we go up this track, we can see we've got some fruit trees. These over here, this is called marmelo or quince, and you use this to make marmalade. We have a huge fig tree here. There's quite a few fig trees, and we also have a little puppy. Look at this. There's a cute little puppy which belongs to the caretaker, which is running up to say hello. Hello. Now the majority of this property is covered in vineyard, but we also have around 100 olive trees, and these are situated just in front of the caretaker's cottage here. So there is a large amount of olive trees, and we can see that they're absolutely covered in what are going to become olives. So nice and productive. You're never going to run out of olive oil. Now this farm is currently being looked after by a caretaker. He basically looks after the olives, he looks after the grounds. He's also a trained plumber. He works with heating and plumbing. If you were to buy this property and you're worried about how you're going to look after it, well, the caretaker currently lives here with his wife and his family, and they look after this place. Now obviously that's something that you could negotiate if you wanted them to stay on, because this is a big property, and obviously this guy's got 10 years experience of looking after it. So this is a look at the caretaker's cottage. Now we're not going to go in because the whole family's there, but it's a 2-bedroom house. I believe it's got the option of extending to 3 bedrooms, I've been told. Over here, this is a giant well, so a really big well. The property has 2 boreholes, and it has numerous wells and water tanks. And then we've got this outside area here, and we have a little bit of a covered space over here. And if we follow the calçada track up a little bit more, we have an area where they store all of the tools and equipment. Now the main thing in here is the tractor, and this is a Massey Ferguson. It's quite a powerful one, and I believe the model number of this one is, let's see, 354V. So a nice high quality tractor. All of the equipment and machinery and everything comes obviously with the property, will be sold with the property. There's loads of storage in here. Now I believe a 3rd bedroom for the house could be built in this section here, because this is actually the back of the house, and then the top of this sort of barn structure goes over it. And this room has, well, everything stored in here, all of the tools and equipment and everything that has been used to look after the farm for the last 10 years. Right, so now we're going to work our way up to the very top of the property. And as we walk our way up, I just want to show you on the side here, we have some apple trees. So we have numerous fruit trees on the property. These again are these marmelos for making marmalade. And we have numerous fig trees that are dotted around here. Now there's numerous areas like these ones around me here where There's all sorts of different varieties of grapes being grown, and I can't remember them all offhand, so I'm going to put them up on the screen here so you can see all of the different varieties. This property has loads and loads and loads of different grapes that are grown, eating grapes, wine grapes, and lots of nicely manageable areas. So if we head up in this direction, just across here, there's a big water tank. And just look at the size of this thing. It's absolutely massive. Now, I heard that in the past the owners actually used to use this for swimming, but obviously a tank like this, you fill it up with water. There's a borehole just on this side of the property, so one of the two boreholes, they would use that to fill this up, and then you could gravity feed the water on all of the lower parts of the farm. So we're really high up here now. From up here you can see the house just over there, the caretaker's house, and just look at these views of the Gardenia Mountains. So the water tank was just up in that direction. These are the lower sort of vines, and I've been told that there's a variety of different vines here. So we've got some of the vines up by where the water tank are around 30 years old, and then these other vines that are planted nearer to where the house is are around 10 years old. Now, because these are mature vines, you don't actually have to worry about irrigating them, and the irrigation and the borehole and all of that's only really necessary for, if you were to take these vines out and put new ones in, or if you had new fruit trees or something like that. Now, I'm standing on the south side of the house, and from up here we get views that stretch out, and we can see just down here we have another water tank. So this is a huge tank over here. Now, I've been told that apparently it goes down 8 meters. So that's incredibly deep. I think it's in the center. It goes down 8 meters, and it's fed by underground springs and all sorts of stuff. So there's plenty of water in this bottom field. Now, if you are interested in buying this, I'm not an estate agent. I don't sell properties. I only make video tours like this one for buyers or sellers. You can hire me to film your property, or if you're a buyer, you can also hire me to make private video tours. Have a look in the video description. I'm going to put my email address. You can contact me and find out about that service. Now, if you are interested in buying this property, also have a look in the video description. I'm going to put all of the contact details of the seller. You need to contact them directly with any offers or any questions, and who knows, this could be your future home. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and we'll see you again soon in the next one. All the very best. Ciao.